Hello everybody. Today I would like to tell you about short conversation between the man and the woman. The man wanted to know if the woman could hand him that fax because he thought the one from the London office. The woman agreed with him, however she didn't see it and she asked where the man had put it. The man replied to her he had left it on her desk. The woman commented there was a pile of invoices there and she thought the fax got mixed in with them. Number 2. The man wanted to know if the woman had noticed any change around there lately. The woman was surprised by that and she asked they had hired a new cleaning crew. The man agreed with her and he thought that place looked much better because the windows weren't dirty and the washrooms were much nicer then. The woman disagreed with him and she commented she hadn't noticed much of the difference at all. Manufacturing facility sometime a week after, if it was convenient. The woman agreed with him and she said she would be happy to show him the assembly area and the new storage facility. The man commented he would also like to check out the cargo bay. The woman agreed with him, however she said they had been having some problems with distribution lately and she suggested using his input. 4. The man said to the woman he heard the company dinner had been moved up to the 5th of February. The woman replied to him there was big convenience at the hotel on the 12th, so we had got pumped. The man commented that was real inconvenience because he had been planning to go and see his sister on that day. The woman replied to him she had an appointment at the hair salon that she had to change that. Number 5. The man wanted to know if the woman could hold the door open for him. The woman agreed with him and she wanted to know where the man was going with all those boxes because they looked heavy. The man replied to her he had to take all those old files up to the storage rooms on the 7th floor. The woman agreed with him and she commented that must be why they had been putting on those new cabinets up there the day before. Number 6. The man wanted to know where they should meet up that afternoon, in the lobby or out in the parking lot. The woman suggested meeting at the car because the hotel would be packed. The man disagreed with her and he said most of the tourists were out at the time. The woman agreed with him, however she said there was waiting reception in the conference hall and all the guests would be arriving then. Number 7. The man said to the woman she was late with that article and he asked if she had finished it yet. The woman replied to him it due first thing the day after, so she might have to pull an all-nighter. The man suggested talking to the editor because he thought the editor would be willing to give her an extension. The woman disagreed with him and she said that piece had to run in the following month's edition. Number 8. The man said hello to the woman and he wanted to know if he could rent a pair of skates there. The woman agreed with him, however she said they only opened for another 20 minutes. The man agreed with her, however he thought the ring had closed late because the last time he had been there it had been open until 9 o'clock. The woman replied to him that was only in the summertime and in winter they closed earlier. Number 9. The man said to the woman it was such a beautiful day and he would like to get out and go for a walk. He wanted to know if there was any good parks around there. The woman replied to him Monterey Avenue was lined with trees, and she suggested trying going there. The man agreed with her, and he asked Monterey Avenue was a Baker Street. The woman agreed with him, and she said quickest, the quickest way there was over the Yale Bridge.
Hello everybody, today I would like to tell you 10 conversation between the man and the woman. Conversation number 1. The man wanted to know if the woman could hand him that pass because he thought the one from the London office. The woman agreed with him, however she didn't see it, and she asked where the man had put it. The man replied to her he had left it on her desk. The woman commented there were a pile of invoice there, and she thought the fact got mixed in with them. Conversation number 2. The man wanted to know if the woman had noticed any change and although there lately. The woman was surprised by that, and she asked they had hired that new cleaning crew. The man agreed with her, and he thought that place looked much better because the windows weren't dirty and the washroom were much nice then. The woman disagreed with him, and she commented he hadn't noticed much of a difference at all. Conversation number 3. The man said to the woman he would like to come down and tell the manufacturing facility sometime the week after if it was convenient. The woman agreed with him, and she said she would be happy to show him the assembly area and the new storage facility. The man commented he would also like to check out the cargo bay. The woman agreed with him, however she said they had been having some problems with distribution lately, and she suggested using his input. Conversation number 4. The man said to the woman he heard the company dinner had been moved to the 13th of February. The woman replied to him there was a big convenience at the hotel on the trail, so they had got bumped. The man commented that was a real inconvenience because he had been planning to go and see his sister on that day. The woman replied she had an appointment at the hair salon that she had to change then. Conversation number 6. The man wanted to know if the woman could hold that door open for him. The woman agreed with him, and she asked where the man was going with all those boxes because he looked heavy. The man replied to her he had to take all those old files up to the storage rooms on the 7th floor. The woman commented that must be why they had been putting all those new cabinets up there the day before. Conversation number 7. The man wanted to know where they should meet up that afternoon, in the lobby or out in the parking lot. The woman suggested meeting the car because the hotel would be packed. The man disagreed with her, and he said most of the tourists were out at that time. The woman agreed with him. However, she said there was the waiting reception in the conference hall, and all the guests would be arriving there. Conversation number 8. The man said to the woman she was lying with that article, and he asked if she had finished it that. The woman replied to him, I eat due first thing the day after, so she might have to Portland on later. The man suggested taking to the editor because he thought the editor would be willing to give her an extension. The woman disagreed with him, and he said that Pice had to run in the following month's edition. Conversation number 9. The man said hello to the woman, and he wanted to know if he could rent the pair of skis there. The woman agreed with him. However, she said they only open for another 20 minutes. The man agreed with her. However, he thought the rig had closed lately because the last time he had been there, it had been open until 9 o'clock. The woman replied to him that was only in the summer time, and in the winter they closed earlier. Conversation number 10. The man said to the woman it was such a beautiful day and he would like to get out and go for a walk. The woman, he wanted to know there were any good parks around there. The woman replied to him, Monterey Avenue was like with trees, and she suggested trying going there. And the man agreed with her, and he asked. Monterey Avenue was a back street. The woman agreed with him, and he said the whiskers why they were over the young bridge.
Hello everyone, today I would like to tell you about 10 conversations between two people, the man and the woman. The conversation 1, the man wanted to know if the woman could hand him that fax because he thought the one from the London office. The woman agreed with him, however she didn't see it, and she asked where the man had put it. The man replied to her he had left it on her desk. The woman commented there was a pile of invoices there, and she thought the fax got mixed in with them. The conversation 2. The man wanted to know if the woman had noticed any change around there lately. The woman was surprised by that, and she asked. They had hired that new cleaning crew. The man agreed with her, and he thought that place looked much better because the windows weren't dirty and the washrooms were much nicer then. The woman disagreed with him, and she commented she hadn't noticed much of a difference at all. The conversation 4. The man said to the woman he'd like to come down and tour the manufacturing facility sometime the week after if it was convenient. The woman agreed with him, and she said she'd be happy to show him the assembly area and the new storage facility. The man commented he would also like to check out the culture bay. The woman agreed with him. However, she said they had been having some problems with distribution lately, and she started using his input. The conversation 4. The man said to the woman he heard the company dinner had been moved up to the 5th of February. The woman replied to him there was big convention at the hotel on the fair, so they had got bumped. The man commented that was a real inconvenience because he had been planning to go and see his sister on that day. The woman replied she had an appointment at the hair salon that she had to change then. The conversation sank. The man wanted to know if the woman could hold the door open for him. The woman agreed with him, and she asked where the man was going with on those boots because they looked heavy. The man replied to her he had to took home those old files up to the store's rooms or the 7th floor. The woman commented that must be why they had been putting on those new cabinets up there the day before. The conversation 7. The man wanted to know where they should meet up that afternoon, in the lobby or in the parking lot. The woman suggested meeting at the crowd because the hotel would be packed. The man disagreed with her, and he said most of the tourists were out at that time. The woman agreed with him. However, she said there was a wedding reception in the conference room hall, and all the girls would be arriving then. The conversation 8. The man said to the woman she was late with that article, and he asked if she had finished it yet. The woman replied to him, it due first thing the day after, so she might have to put an all-nighter. The man suggested taking to the editor because he thought the editor would be willing to give her an extension. The woman disagreed with him, and she said that that piece had to run in the following month's edition. The conversation 9. The man said hello to the woman. He wanted to know if he could rent a pair of skaters there. The woman agreed with him. However, she said they only opened for another 20 minutes. The man agreed with her. However, he thought the rink had closed later because the last time he had been there, it had been open until 9 o'clock. The woman replied to him that was only in the summertime, and in the winter they closed early. Conversation 10. The man said to the woman it was such a beautiful day and he would like to get out and go for a walk. He wanted to know there were any wood parks around there. The woman replied to him, Monterey Avenue was lined with trees, and she started trying going there. The man agreed with her, and he asked Monterey Avenue was off Baker Street. The woman agreed with him, and she said the quickest way that was over the race bridge.
Hello everyone, today I would like to tell you about 10 conversations between two people. The conversation 1. The man wanted to know if the woman could help him that fact because he thought the one from the London office The woman agreed with him. However, she didn't see it, and she asked where the man had put it. The man replied to her, he had left it on her desk. The woman commented there was a pile of invoices there, and she thought the facts got mixed in with them. The conversation too. The man wanted to know if the woman had noticed any change around there lately. The woman was surprised by that, and she asked they had hired that new cleaning crew. The man agreed with her, and he thought that place looked much better because the windows weren't dirty and the washrooms were much nicer than. The woman disagreed with him, and she commented she hadn't noticed much of a difference at all. Conversation 3. The man said to the woman he'd like to come down and tour the manufacturing facility sometime the week after it was convenient. The woman agreed with him, and she said she'd be happy to show him and the assembly area and the new storage facility. The man commented he would also like to check out the car bay. The woman agreed with him. However, she said they had been having some problems with distribution lately, and she suggested using his input. Number 4. The man said to the woman he heard the company dinner had been moved up to the 5th of February. The woman replied to him there was a big convention at the hotel on the 12th, so we had got bumped. The man commented that was a real inconvenience because he had been planning to go and see his sister on that day. The woman replied she had an appointment at the hair salon and that she had to change them. Number 6. The man wanted to know if the woman could hold that door open for him. The woman agreed with him, and she asked where the man was going with all those boxes because they looked heavy. The man replied to her he had to take all those old files up to the storage rooms on the 7th floor. The woman commented that must be where they had been putting all those new cabinets up there the day before. Number 7. The man wanted to know where they should meet up that afternoon, in the lobby or out in the parking lot. The woman suggested meeting at the car because the hotel would be packed. The man disagreed with her, and he said most of the tourists were out at that time. The woman agreed with him. However, she said there was a wedding reception in the conference hall, and all the guests would be arriving then. Number 8. The man said to the woman she was late with that article, and he asked if she had finished it yet. The woman replied to him it due first thing the day after, so she might have to pull an all-nighter. The man suggested talking to the editor because he thought the editor would be willing to give her an attention. The woman disagreed with him, and she said that piece had to run in the following month's edition. Number 9. The man said hello to the woman, and he wanted to know if he could rent a pair of skates there. The woman agreed with him. However, she said they only opened for another 20 minutes. The man agreed with her. However, he thought the rink had closed. later because the last time he had been there, it had been opened until 9 o'clock. The woman replied to him that was only in the summertime and in the winter they closed earlier. The last conversation, the man said to the woman it was such a beautiful day and he would like to get out and go for a walk. He wanted to know there were any good parks around there. The woman replied to him, Monterey Avenue was lined with trees and she suggested try going there. The man agreed with her and he asked, Monterey Avenue was off Baker Street. The woman agreed with him and she said the quickest way there was over the Wright Bridge. Thank you for listening.